Hello and welcome to this video about Google Sheets, the basics. These are the topics we'll cover. What's a spreadsheet? What is Google Sheets? Rows and columns? What are cells? Typing data in cells? And what is a sheet? So we quickly go through these, and as we've gone through them, we'll tick them off here, and then hopefully by then it will all be clear to you. So first of all, what is a spreadsheet? A spreadsheet is a program that has been around for many years, and it is very useful because it allows you to manipulate data. People do store data on spreadsheets. However, that is, people are moving away that over time. And when I say people, mainly businesses do, but it's not really there to be storing business. The best reason to be using a spreadsheet is to calculate numbers. As you can see, you can still put in text like we have here, but the main thing with spreadsheets is calculating numbers, and that's why they are so useful. They're used all around the world by many businesses and many people, in their homes, and it's a very useful skill to have if you're also applying for jobs in an office-based environment. Understanding how spreadsheets work is a very good thing to know. So that, I think, has covered what is spreadsheets. So we'll tick that just to say that's been completed. So what is Google Sheets? So Google Sheets is pretty new when it comes to spreadsheets. If you've ever used Microsoft Windows computers before and you've used spreadsheets before, you'll know about Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel is, without question, the most popular spreadsheet program there is, and it's very good. I've used it for many years. It's fantastic. The difference is that people are moving away from the cloud, and you can get Microsoft Excel in the cloud, but Google Sheets was there first because Google Sheets was predominantly created for the Chromebook and for anyone with a Google account. So if you've got a Windows PC or a Mac, you can also use Google Sheets. And the great thing is Google Sheets is free to use. That's one of the great benefits. And it's all done in the cloud. So you don't need to save locally. It's all saved in the cloud on your Google Drive, and you get 15 gigabyte of that free with your Google account. So that is what is Google Sheets. We'll just tick that. Obviously, much later on in many different videos, I will show you how you can do this as well. But this here is just for Google Sheets, the basics. So rows and columns. So down here, you will see this is a normal spreadsheet, and you've got all these rows here, and you've got all these columns here. And rows and columns is something you will get very familiar with when using spreadsheets. It's very much like how when you're using a map to find a location, you'd use the same thing. So here, if you wanted to find this location, it would be D, because it's in column D, and it's in row 5 there. So that cell is called D5. And you can see that up here where it's got D5. You can change the name of cells, which isn't for this tutorial, but it can be useful to change the name of cells. But bearing in mind, this is something you will use a lot, because as you will see as we go on, you'll see why they're important to understand. So all spreadsheets will come with lots of columns and lots of rows, and they obviously can go further down and further across as well. So you're not really limited. So that's rows and columns completed. Now the next one is what are cells? Now cells are here. This is what we clicked on, and that's your row. So E3, that's your cell, that's cell E3. And the cell is where you put your data. So it's important you can put alpha data, and you can also put numerical data. There's lots of other stuff you can do with cells as well. As you can see, to type that, we just typed it here. So you can type directly into the cell, or up here is exactly the same content of what's in the cell. So if you go there, you can type it in there as well. And you'll see as you're doing that, it will put it there. So although you can see what's in the cell there, If this cell was a formula, for example, you wouldn't see what the formula was there. You'd just see what the outcome of the formula was. And this is where you would use this up here to see what the formula is, to make sure the formula is correct. So that's the cells completed. And the next one, type in data in cells. I think we've just done that. We've completed that, so that's all fine. And the last one is, what is a sheet? Now, a sheet is this down here. I've created one here for video content, and this is so I can show what we'll be looking at during the tutorial. And then there's a blank one there, sheet 2. You can add sheets as you want to. You can change the color of the sheets as well to make it easier for you. So you could change that, and you can see a little bar underneath to change the color. You can add a sheet. And there you go, sheet 3. You can rename a sheet. So you could put it here, raw data, and that will be your raw data. Because with spreadsheets, not all the time, but a lot of the times with spreadsheets, you will also be working with raw data because you want to manipulate that raw data to get the information you want. So that could be the raw data, and that could be, you don't need to rename anything, but you can do if you want to, and that could be output. So that's your sheets as well. So that's sheets, and this is essentially a workbook. So the workbook is the actual file here, Google Sheets template, and these Google Sheets are all down here. You can have as many as you want. Now, with these, you can put your raw data in here, and then you could calculate that raw data from here. So you don't, for example, what I mean is, if we wanted to have 5 and then 5, we obviously know that equals 10. So equals that plus that equals 10. But you don't need to have the data in the same sheet. And that's what's great about spreadsheets. So you could have 5 there, and you could have, well, we've already got a 520 there, so we'll leave that. So you could do equals that plus that, return, and it brings you back 525 in the output sheet, because that's where you started the formula. And as I said earlier, that's the number there, 525, which is the correct number. And up here, we can see the actual formula used. So equals D3, and that's D3 there, plus raw data. Now, raw data, that's the actual sheet, and then it's got the cell reference in that sheet. So if we go back there, and we can see E10. So we've done a bit more there. We went into calculations a bit, which I think is fine. I think this video is much shorter than I thought it would be. It is a very basic video, but please like and subscribe to the channel, because I will be doing further videos going forward, and some of them obviously will be basic, but then the further we go on down the line, they will get more complex. And hopefully what you'll find is, over time, is if you've got a problem with Google Sheets, you will be able to come to this channel to get the answers to any of your problems. Because I've been using spreadsheets for, well, since I was at school, and I'm 45. So I've got a very good understanding of spreadsheets. So please like and subscribe to the channel for future videos. We'll just do that. And that's it, all completed.